Hello there, my name is John, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the Billy Carson and Wes Huff debate that has been getting a lot of traction online over the last couple weeks, especially being hyped up by Christians and like Christian apologists, because I'm seeing all these videos and things from different Christian apologist YouTube channels and things like that, where they're saying that like Billy Carson got destroyed in this debate and everything. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit. Now, I've watched some of Billy Carson, like on interviews that he's been on with different YouTubers and things like that. I've not really like done any deep dives into his beliefs and everything like that, but I have seen some of the things that he's talked about, and he definitely has some interesting perspectives, but they are a little bit out there, a little more like fantastical or extreme, on like the more esoteric, mystical, new age side of things. And he talks about some like biblical accounts. He does, he has opinions that are different from typical Christianity. I think he doesn't believe that the God of the Bible is the true God of, I think he does believe in a higher power or creator, but he doesn't believe basically that that is the God of the Bible. Now, obviously I don't believe everything that Billy Carson believes or that he teaches and promotes, but I do find him interesting to watch because he's different. He doesn't have the typical perspective that like never challenges any of the orthodox views of other Christians. And then you have Wes Huff on the other side, which I've never heard of him before, but he is seems to be growing as a apologist on YouTube, a Christian apologist. And while he did perform pretty well in this debate, I think that it was, I won't say it's necessarily a setup, but I feel like this was kind of a low-hanging fruit for him to debate Billy Carson, because Billy Carson has a lot of claims that are easily disproven. He talks about the Emerald Tablets of Thoth and some different documents that he believes are like historical, written like tens of thousands of years ago, or older than the Bible was written and things like that. And maybe some of the stuff that he talks about has some merit. Like I said, I do find him interesting, but I definitely don't agree with everything he teaches or believes. Now, one of the things I wanted to talk about in this debate is the whole idea of the way when Christian apologists debate people that oppose their views, or even when Christians debate other Christians. There is a problem that with the way, and I just think that debate is really not a good thing, and it doesn't really produce any fruit. But maybe it can be helpful for some people to see different sides of things if you side with one side, and you've never considered some of the options from the other side. If you're going into a debate, not as a debater, I think, but probably if you're going into a debate, like watching a debate, and you are truly curious about the outcome, and you're truly curious about the both sides, and you're not like 100% invested in one side winning and like just totally opposed to hearing anything the other side says. If that's your approach, and you're going in with that I can't talk this morning, with that genuine curiosity and consideration of both sides' views, then I think it can be not a truly terrible thing. But I just think that debates in general are not great. I think discussions are better. With that being said, so in this debate, Billy Carson, he seems to have like, I think the consensus is that he won this debate, at least among most Christians. They would say that he won the debate. and they're saying that this is like this huge win for Christianity, or at least that's the way it's coming across by a lot of Christian YouTubers I follow and things like that. But I want to, present a different viewpoint. I'm not saying that Billy Carson had great, I'm not saying, I don't think he won this debate, and I don't think that he, had super fantastical points that, disproved any of Wes's claims or anything like that. But I just think that the problem with the way that Wes was debating Billy Carson, and I definitely saw it more on the side of Wes than Billy Carson. I'm not saying that Billy Carson, I think that Billy Carson probably, maybe he is a little bit closed-minded when it comes to some of the claims of Christianity, but he definitely seemed to be more open in this debate than Wes was. And I know Wes was talking over him a lot during this debate, and he was very, his confidence margin, Wes's confidence margin was basically, the way he talked is he never wanted to admit that there was a couple blunders, a couple things that he said that, when Billy Carson quoted a verse about slaves being promoted, or that you were to honor, that slaves should honor their masters and things like that in the New Testament, then Wes said, oh, the Bible doesn't say that, and later he quoted that verse, and then he said, okay, well, it doesn't mean what you're saying it means. It's not really promoting. So he didn't even admit that he was wrong. He just basically had another answer for why his view is still, why Christianity is still valid, why his view of Scripture is still valid. And so the best analogy that I can think of is I think we need to get away from this type of debating, where basically you're not going into the debate. If you're going to debate someone or have a discussion or something like that with someone that has an opposing view, you should go in with genuine curiosity and truly consider the other side's opinions, and be willing to change some of your views. I'm not saying you have to concede to the other side completely, but be willing to adjust your views a little bit if you can see that there are some problems with your own interpretations of Scripture or whatever it is that you're debating. Because there was definitely no consideration of change that I could see in Wes Huff. I couldn't see any genuine curiosity in him. I couldn't see any of him, or I couldn't see him considering the opposing side at all. And I did hear where Billy would say, sometimes he would say, okay, you're right on that issue. Maybe I'm wrong here. Billy Carson he at least admitted sometimes where he was wrong, but you never hear Wes saying anything like that. And like I said, I'm not here to defend Billy Carson or say that I agreed with his conclusions on everything, but I was going to give this analogy about debates. Basically, the way that Christian apologists, that we handle Christian apologetics these days, is we treat it like a lawyer that's going to, he has this defendant that he's going to side with no matter what evidence is presented against him. He has this defendant that's giving him a lot of money, and he's just in it to win it, but he's not going to change, or he's not going to drop his client if something can prove that this person is guilty or whatever. And they're just going to do as much as they can to defend their client no matter what, even if there is stark evidence that can be shown against it. They'll just explain it away. They have all the answers. They already know the answers they're going to give. And that's a problem, when Christians, when you have just all these predetermined conclusions, and you have all these prescribed answers that you're supposed to give whenever someone presents any kind of evidence against your position, um, you're not growing spiritually, and you're not going to grow any further than where you're currently at. You might gain like knowledge of different you might gain some like knowledge of different ways to word things and how to be more eloquent, and you might gain like more it's kind of like a computer. You have all this memory. You might gain in your memory of like, okay, I've memorized this Bible verse, or I've memorized this answer to this question, and things like that. But you're not growing in any kind of perspectival capacity. You're not growing in any kind of curiosity, or like being able to actually like be a genuine person and say what you actually think, because all of your answers are basically pre-scripted and pre-programmed, and you can't stray away from it, because if you do, then you'll be criticized and you'll be attacked as not an Orthodox Christian or something like that. I know that this wasn't my best video. It's not very well scripted. I haven't been super eloquent in talking and stuff like that, but I just wanted to address this because it's been on my mind. I think that we need to get away from this divisive debating type of apologetics. If you're a Christian, be willing to consider that some of your views might be wrong, whenever you're just using the Bible as a proof text, and you have what's it called? It's this term called confirmation bias, and my dad just talked about that with me recently. There's this thing that we do in Orthodox Christianity, or like if you're a fundamentalist or something like that, where you use confirmation bias to basically not consider any alternatives to your position, because you already have all the answers. You have the pre-scripted conclusions and all the predetermined answers. You already have it systematized, and where you can articulate it very well and all that kind of stuff, but you don't have any genuine wisdom, or once something comes in that doesn't fit in your paradigm, you're not going to know what to do with it other than just explain it away as something demonic or something like that. Like I hear Christian, and this is one of the things that it makes me cringe so much when there's all this stuff coming out about like UFOs. Like there's been some hearings about UFOs and UAPs with Congress this past couple of years, and I just hear all these Christians say, oh yeah, it's just demons and angels, and that's all it is. Well, maybe it is. Maybe it is just demons. Maybe it is just angels. But if a physical UFO, a flying saucer, showed up in the air in front of your house, landed in your yard, and you saw these green Martians coming out or whatever, think of like the most ridiculous situation you could think of that would like defy all logic of what you think about the reality of this universe and everything like that. How are you going to explain that away? But with the thing is that Christians will always have, if you are a fundamentalist Christian and things like that, you'll always have an answer to explain away anything that doesn't fit inside your paradigm. And I think that we need to consider that there's things that we don't understand, there's things that we don't know. The Bible is not an all-encompassing theory of everything that gives us all the answers to reality in the universe. We treat it as like, a lot of Christians treat the Bible as like this science textbook that, okay, this explains how everything works in the world. This explains, basically all the scientific stuff of the universe. Well, the truth is that it doesn't. The Bible is a religious document. It's a book about spirituality. It's not, and I'm not saying that there's no science in the Bible or that you can't find some things that prove certain scientific phenomena or whatever in the Bible. Sure, there might be some of that stuff, but it's not a science textbook. It's not this all-encompassing theory of everything that just gives you the answers to where you always know what the answer is to any kind of question that opposes your view. That's not what we're supposed to do. If you're a fundamentalist Christian or a traditional Christian or whatever, you're not supposed to. The Bible never says that you are like supposed to affirm all of these beliefs, and that's why I talk about it so much, about like signing away your conscience to a statement of faith or to a set of fundamentals, or signing your conscience away to your pastor. You have a seared conscience when you do that. Whenever you agree that you're just going to side with whatever the pastor says, and you're going to side with whatever your church or your denomination agrees is orthodox or is the true fundamentals, when you outsource your sense making to them, you have a seared conscience. You're no longer thinking for yourself. You're no longer allowing your intuition, your God-given faculties, to show you that maybe something that's being said is wrong, because all the answers are already prescripted and you already have them given to you by a pastor or a systematic theology or a statement of faith or something like that. Anyway, this video went on a little bit longer than I intended, so I'm going to go ahead and end it here, but I just wanted to talk about this a little bit. I hope that you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. God bless.